Trying this again.
Take two. We are doing this live.
We are. We're trying it again. Should we do the same jokes?
We could. But they weren't jokes. I just think we're fun. I just think we're funny.
It is Palindrome Day.
Yes, it's International Palindrome Day. Happy International Palindrome Day.
And Groundhog Day.
And Groundhog Day. And Super Bowl Day.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. We said those things already before. So if you were watching before.
Yes.
Well, we deleted it, so it doesn't matter.
Either way. So sorry if you were watching and then you were cut off just as it was about to get good. We're trying this again.
And now we'll never be able to recapture the magic. So okay, here we go.
There will be more magic.
Yeah.
All right. So we have even less time to cover this before kickoff, so we're just going to get rolling.
Let's do this.
Yes.
So first of all, Melaleuca CEO and Idaho House resident Frank VanderSloot received an award last night from the Alturas Institute recognizing his and his wife Belinda's commitment to equal protection under the law. As you may or may not know, there have been problems with medical debt collection here in town. And so they've established a fund to help people with the attorney's fees. The thing that's more germane to what's going on this legislative session is the fact that Mr. VanderSloot is planning on introducing a bill to the legislature that would limit attorney fees. So keep an eye out for that. And we definitely want to vote yes on this because not only does it limit attorneys fees, but it also requires healthcare providers to submit their billing within a certain period of time. Sometimes they put that off so that they can. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
it's a whole thing. It's smart. It's smart policy. It would make health insurance just navigating that whole circus a lot easier for everybody.
So we want to keep an eye on that and make sure that we're encouraging our legislators to vote yes on this bill. There's some more information about it. If you look, we have a link to the story on East Idaho News. So check that out, see what's going on, and move forward. So next is something that has already made it out of the Idaho House.
Yes.
So the House is up and doing its shenanigans. So let's do this.
We
got to stop them in the Senate, guys. We got to stop them in the Senate.
Okay. So this week, the Idaho House passed a bill that would limit the number of times a bond issue can be put up to a vote in a given year. Right now, a bond issue can come up once a quarter, so once every 3 months.
It doesn't, though.
It doesn't.
Often.
It can.
It doesn't happen very often.
That's an important distinction to make. It can come up once every 3 months. So there are legislators that want to limit that to once every 11 months. So, it's out of the House. It's in the Senate now. They haven't voted yet. So if you are not super jazzed on making education funding even harder to get than it already is, then we encourage you to call, email, and write your senators or visit their offices because they do have offices in town here. You can go say hi to the senators. No, I'm sorry, they don't.
They don't.
I'm sorry.
Just
the
federal call them and send them emails.
Call them and send them emails. If you want to go to Boise and visit their staffers there, you can do that too. But
I mean, it's worth noting that there have been efforts in the past to get rid of the 2/3 majority. Other states around us either pass school bonds by a simple majority, or some of them actually pass by 60%. So it's important to note that passing a school bond is already very difficult because a no vote counts twice as much as a yes vote. And so it's already very difficult to pass these bonds, and limiting how often they can be brought up prevents school districts from taking input from people, making adjustments, and then presenting something else. So, it just once again makes it harder. Our school districts are already suffering from education funding disparities and problems, and creating more problems and more difficulties for bonds is not going to help us.
That said, I personally understand to an extent one of the intentions behind this bill. I know everybody gets really tired of seeing bond issues come up because everybody's like, oh God, we just visited this. Why are we doing this again? Well, they're doing this again because they can't get funding any other way. So I mean, it's something to consider in this whole. Someday
in School District 91, we're either going to have to pass a bond to fix Idaho Falls High School or wait till it falls upon our students' heads.
I mean, exactly. Like,
It had a sinkhole, you guys. It had a sinkhole in it already.
We could go on for the rest of the afternoon about this.
But let's not. Let's move on.
Yes. So yeah, in other skewed priorities, this week the House also, they killed a bill, a very good one, that would have updated safety regulations for daycare facilities.
Yeah, one of these crazy safety regulations they had in there was that kids should be wearing seatbelts during transport. I know. It's crazy crap, but here it is.
Nanny state.
I know, right?
Nanny state.
Nanny states for the nannies.
God, back in my day.
Back in my day, we were allowed to die.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Yeah, so there's not much else to say about this except Idaho lawmakers obviously are proving yet again that they don't seem to actually care about Idaho kids unless they're being used as campaign fodder.
Well, I know. I mean,
so
it's not like the 5-year-old can write them a campaign check
or vote.
I mean, they're no good unless they actually manage to live through their childhood and then write them a check.
Well, lawmakers, you are super welcome to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I invite you to prove me incorrect.
The next bad idea is a wonderful homegrown suggestion from our own fabulousness right here in Bonneville County. At the winter meeting for the GOP convention, our Bonneville County GOP led the way in getting this added to the platform, this idea of limiting the number of names submitted to the governor to fill a legislative vacancy to 1. So right now, the central committee, whichever central committee it is of the party of the vacancy, actually gets to send 3 names to the governor, and the governor picks from those 3 names to see who's going to fill the legislative vacancy. So they want to get rid of that, and they want to get it down to 1. The system right now works fine. I'm not sure why we need to fix something that isn't broken, but I mean,
that's just standard operating.
It really is. Let's make up a bad policy to solve a problem we don't have. Priorities. So anyway, that's up. Expect that to be on the House floor sometime in the relatively near future for a vote.
And if it doesn't go anywhere, expect them to try again or take another avenue.
But yeah, so we do need to watch these things. Yeah. Just sort of like the school bond thing, it made it out. The school bond issue made it out of the House. It's going to the Senate now.
Yeah. So
we need to watch these things coming out of the House so that we can let our senators know to vote no on these things when it gets to the Senate.
Yes. Next up, God, my eyesight today. Sorry, guys. You're just getting a close-up of my face. Next up this week, thankfully, is not going to affect, with the primaries are coming up, the presidential primary is coming up in March, by the way.
March 10th.
And there's a primary for both. There's a Democratic and Republican primary.
Yes.
So this bill won't affect the 2020 primary. It could affect 2024 if it actually makes it to the governor's desk and he signs it. But lawmakers want to, I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I was trying to
Right. So they're trying to make it so that you have to change your party affiliation at least 90 days in advance if you would like to vote in the presidential primary. Like I said, it won't go into effect this year if it actually passes. But, right now Idaho has we have same day voter registration. You can, and we have some pretty open voting laws, which is great.
Yeah.
And so putting limits on people and their ability to vote and putting more hurdles in front of them is never a good idea. We like increased civic participation.
Yes.
More participation makes, for a better republic. So,
right.
Yeah. So,
opening access increases engagement, but more engagement increases conversation. When you actually increase conversation, you actually get somewhere.
Yeah, and just as a note, the Democratic presidential primary is what is known as semi-open, which means that if you are registered as a Democrat or you are unaffiliated, you can vote in the Democratic presidential primary.
Yes.
So that's something to keep in mind. And then also our May primaries for the state stuff, that happens in May. That's a separate primary.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yes.
those are totally open. So
Yes.
the Democrats have a completely open state primary. So that's something to keep in mind as well when you're
Planning
thinking
on, when you're
about
thinking
things.
about which one you want to vote for, you really, and we'll have more details basically on the primary calendar, primary and caucus calendar, and all of the stuff that is happening leading up to the 2020 elections.
And you can find more.
We'll
you
have more
can-
information posted on Facebook and in all of our other
Yeah.
media outlets to make it easy for you to find.
Yeah, sign up for the newsletter. There's
Yes.
a nice button on the Facebook page. If you just hit that button, you can sign up for the newsletter,
Mhm.
and we'll have information in that. And then we also have information in the events section of our website.
Yep. Okay. With that said, yeah.
Two
Just
things
about
we're
it,
waiting.
yes.
So there are
Thank
two
you.
things we're waiting for. We're waiting for two things. There are two things coming up. So they haven't been introduced yet, but they're on the way maybe, and we're hoping that they are.
Yeah.
Two things that we're watching for are the introduction of, once again, trying to limit child marriage. Idaho is one of the very few states
Doesn't have an age limit.
doesn't have a limit.
There's no minimum.
There is no minimum, so that's super
Yeah.
fun.
Last year, Representative Melissa Wintrow proposed a bill that would effectively ban child marriage and make it so that people could not get married under the age of 18.
16.
16, I'm sorry. Yeah.
16 was the 16 was the minimum.
There have been proposals that limit it to 18, so
I
I'm
mean,
just
you
getting my
know,
wires crossed. This is why you're here.
That's right. Some of us think that if you're going to make an adult commitment like marriage, you should in fact be an adult. But here we are.
Yes. Anyway, 16.
16.
And it failed, so people are going to try again. There is, I believe, another bipartisan bill in the works in that regard, and then there's also one that is being workshopped by Republicans. So we might have dueling bills later this session. We don't know yet.
It'll be interesting.
Neither of them have been formally announced. And also, there is a bipartisan in the bill, a bipartisan bill in the works that would, it's called the Clean Slate Act, and it would give felons who have served their sentence in Idaho a second chance at rebuilding their lives.
Yeah.
It would effectively seal their records from potential employers or housing authorities, so they could actually find a job to make an income and find a place to live, which dramatically reduces the risk of them ending up in prison again.
So this is one that is being worked on right now by our own District 33 Senator Dave Lent, and then also Ilana Rubel is working on this one as well. So it's a really cool bipartisan effort with, like, let's be honest, two of my favorite people. So in the legislature, like two of my favorite people in the legislature are working on this. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's what we got.
We made it.
Go Super
And it's
Bowl.
not even 4:00 yet.
Well done, us. Yes.
So you can get back to watching all the Super Bowl ads and all the pregame fun.
That's right.
Or not.
Yeah, I mean, whoever you're cheering for.
You do you today. It's fine.
I hope they win. Sports ball.
Hooray! We'll see you next week, y'all. That's the wrong
Make it
mouse.
stop. Make
Oh
it,
my
no,
God.
it is the right mouse.
It is the right mouse.
Make it stop.
Hey, this is a homegrown video thing here, you guys.
Make it stop.